Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Today we are talking about one of my favorite things, brown ink. Who would have thought? I have an absurd amount of brown inks and I thought it was about time to sit down and get a handle on everything that I have. So I filmed this video a couple days ago, but we're gonna jump back and you are gonna see my entire brown ink collection. I'm exploring everything side by side for the very first time, from ink samples to big bottles that I have, stuff I bought in Japan, things that were given to me. So I'm excited to explore it with you. If you like ink videos in this much depth, let me know. I'm about a year and a half into my pen collecting and fountain ink exploration. I love it so much. This community is so great. If this is something you'd like to see, I can certainly go through because I am planning to get a real handle on my inks this year, enjoy what I have, which I think I've heard from a lot of people in the pen community. It's very easy to get excited around the holidays and Fountain Pen Day and Black Friday and buy. I am so guilty of it. So I'm really trying to enjoy all the goodies that have come into my life. I also want to remind everybody that my friend Vanessa, otherwise known as the Pen Gangsta, the two of us have joined forces and we started a new channel called the Juicy Broads Live Pen Show, and we get together every Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Last week we had our very first guest on the show, Bart, who is the founder of Zodiac Pens. Such an incredible guy, makes such beautiful pens, and he was just wonderful to have as our very first guest. So everything is recorded and is going to live over on the Juicy Broads Pen Show channel here on YouTube. So be sure to subscribe over there. I'll leave a link below in the description and we'll see you on Monday. We have a very special guest coming to our show this coming Monday. We have Joost Appelboom from Appelboom Pens. We are so excited to have Joost on the show. And I did just order a pen from Joost and I hope it's in time for the show, but it's coming all the way from the Netherlands. As many of you know, they closed their Boston store, which I am so sad about. Regardless of whether my pen will be here or not, Joost will be. So I hope to see all of you over there. All right, let's hop back and look at some brown ink, friends. Let's do this. All right, I'm sitting here with as many browns as I think I have. There may be some more, but it's time for me to take a hard look at all of my inks because I definitely have a type. So many browns. I actually went through my color ring and tried to do my best to put things in order according to color and shades. And I also noticed when I looked at this ring of color swatches that it would probably be worth the effort to get samples of ink on paper other than this. This is really like a dry, porous paper. The ink looks so different. I thought that maybe I would start with some shimmer colors because they're always interesting to me. One of my new inks that I really love is Winter Spice. And this is from a Diamine ink vent, but this is a shimmer and a sheen. Now I believe this is a brown ink that has blue shimmer and green sheen. It's hard to tell, but we are going to, actually I'm gonna shake this up even more. Now it looks black. Doesn't even look brown, we'll see. I may have had a heavy hand with this. I'm going to try to suck up some of the ink. See, now this is looking blue and green right now. It's a crazy color. It's really fun though. This is a newer ink. I got this when I was in Japan, and this is a sepia color that is exclusive to the store. So here is the ink swatch for the Maruzan Athena ink. This is a fun ink that I really love. It's called Pick Me Up from Diamine. This is from last year's ink vent calendar. This is what it looks like on this swatch. Let's see how it compares. All right, the color that I want to explore next is this Muse exclusive from Diamine called Lion Rock. I bought this at Muse Pens, which is a company out of Hong Kong. And they also had a Leonardo pen that accompanied this ink. This is also by the same name. It's called Lion Rock. This is a Leonardo Momento Magico. So there is some green sheen or shimmer to this one, which is kind of similar. You can really see the sheen coming through on that Diamine Pick Me Up. Has the blue in it also, similar to the Winter Spice, but the Winter Spice is looking much more blue to me right now. Oh, I meant to do the little cap on that. Hold on. I've been wanting to do this for so long with my brown inks. I do love my Diamine inks. What do we have next? This is another ink that I got in Japan. It's Tachia Korocha, another brown. I have this bad habit of like kind of hunting for the perfect color, and then I end up buying just so many of the same shade when I should probably just get samples and do it that way. I actually think, if I'm not mistaken, it's similar to the Maruzen, and I bought these about 2 hours apart from one another, which is even more funny. This ink I bought at Itoya in Tokyo, in Ginza. And the Maruzen is not in Ginza, but it's a bookstore that is right by Tokyo Station. And that is close to where we stayed. I still can't believe I was there. It seems like a lifetime ago. I'm trying to actually lift some of the color here so we can see some of the shading properties. Actually, sometimes if you just take like a little dot like that, you might be able to see a little more too. Okay. Also, you can see just how different that ink looks. I mean, it still has to dry down, but those look completely different on different papers. I bought it in Itoya 2023. I think another thing that I'm learning about myself is when I'm purchasing these inks, I seem to be very drawn to dark contrasting colors. And then in reality, I like things to be a little bit lighter, so it's really interesting. Oh, you can really see the sheens coming through. So Diamine Pick Me Up is pretty similar to Diamine Lion Rock. I think the Pick Me Up might have some blue in it, and then the Winter Spice, you're barely seeing any of the brown in this particular sample, which I find very interesting. Oh, I am so happy I'm doing this. This is so long overdue. Oh, Yule Log. I love Yule Log. This was one of my very, very favorite colors of 2022, I would say. You can see the shimmer here. So pretty. I would consider getting a full bottle of this if I didn't have so much brown. This has a real, I think it's like a coppery colored sparkle. First, I thought it was close to Cocoa Shimmer, but I think this is a little deep. I'll do Cocoa Shimmer next. But again, another Diamine. I just think that Diamine behaves pretty well, and it's inexpensive, so I feel like I can have a lot of fun with it. And I have, for 2 years, bought the ink vent calendar, so that also really increases the amount of inks I have from them. I don't know if I'll do the ink vent next year. I feel like last year there wasn't as much information or spoilers out on the ink vent calendar, which kind of made it more intriguing. And this year I was able to view a lot in advance. And I kind of liked peeking because then it let me know if I wanted it or not. But I tend to have fun with them. It's a good size. Whoops. I just lost my light. Actually, that's kind of nice. That's more natural lighting, so let's go with that. It might change things a bit, but you can see how things look in the natural light. Yule Log. I love seeing that shimmer come through. So interesting once everything dries down. Okay, I'll do Cocoa Shimmer right here. My husband just got in from shoveling. He's having some soup I made earlier. This almost has a little bit more red in it, I would say. If you look at the two, this one has like a bronze shimmer and this one looks like it has more of a gold shimmer. I think I'll do Dusted Truffle, which is a little bit lighter, definitely lighter. And I want to say that this shimmer is silver. I can't remember where this ink came from. I think maybe I ordered this from Yoseka. I don't even know. That is really bad, so I have no idea. You ever black out when you order things and you just don't remember what it was? I'm having one of those moments right now. This has some greenish undertones, I would say. Keep forgetting to do my little... I think this paper does a much better job of showing the sheens and shimmers. I have no idea where this came from. Could have been like one of the inks I ordered from Atlas throughout the season because they were having so many sales. Looking at all of these inks together, they look so different to me. Okay, let's come in close with this. I mean, the fact that I consider these all brown is actually funny. Look at that Diamine Dusted Truffle. I love that. Yes, this Winter Spice, can't see any brown. These are, in fact, super similar. And I have so much of both of those. All right, so there is page number 1. So many beautiful inks. Walnut. Walnut is from this year's ink vent. A little splatter there. It's actually more interesting than I thought it was going to be. I like it. It's not quite as deep as those colors I got in Japan. I should have been writing like which ink vent they were from. This is my first time using this notebook and I really like it. Look at some of these, or they're already dried. They're probably already dried, pretty much. I like that, better than I thought. This is a new brown that I am absolutely loving, and it goes in my new Sailor Pro Gear Slim. My line friends, it is the perfect brown for this. This is like one of those colors, like I don't know that I will ever put another brown in there because I love it so much. But the line's there a bit. I can't believe how many of these are actually Diamine. That one company can have so many shades of brown. Much easier to write on these when they're not on the ring. I also am learning that I definitely like browns that have a little pink. Oh, hold on. Right, that was my son Rocco. He's in North Carolina with his girlfriend. They drove down to her place to get her car down, and then he is driving back. And I hadn't talked to him yet. He was calling to tell me he wanted to order some corduroys from the company Dickies, and I had to laugh. I'm like, hey, how's North Carolina? He's like, I really want these pants. I'm like, okay. Okay, we have moved on to Pelikan Brilliant Brown, and I have a nice memory of this ink because when I first got into fountain pens, I had gotten my TWSBI Rose Gold Eco in the mail, and I was so excited to ink it up, and I had nothing. I only had cartridges. And so I drove to Cambridge, like on a Thursday afternoon, right in Harvard Square to Bob Slate's, where I went yesterday actually, and I picked up this fun ink, the Shogun ink, to go in my new pen from Zodiac Pens, and I drove there and I had no idea what I was doing. They're like, you can't go wrong with Pelikan. It's a very safe bet, and it was one of the less expensive inks. It was before I had embraced how much money I was going to spend on this hobby. Pelikan Brilliant Brown. And I have really loved this. It always behaves. I don't think it's anything. I didn't know that this was going to be the start of my obsession with brown ink. But this is pretty good. I put it next to the Saddle Brown because they look kind of similar. Although this is another ink where my swatch looks like it's almost orange. Well, no, that reddish, I guess. Well, yeah, maybe that is more accurate than I thought. I feel like it goes on lighter, but this one, these are pretty similar, Saddle Brown and Brilliant Brown. This is maybe a little bit lighter. I kind of want to go through my gold browns, like Cafe Crema and Robert Louis Stevenson from Montblanc is a nice golden brown. I also have Steeped Umber. Where would we put Steeped Umber? I'm going to do that next. I got this little charger. This was also an Atlas Black Friday. It was like 15% off inks, and then we were getting 15 or 20% off with our affiliate. So I'm like, oh, I'm just going to go for it. I think this charger set ended up costing like $5 or $6. This is pretty. This is such a beautiful fall color, Steeped Umber. Okay, there we go. I've been loving my Kakamori dip pen that I also bought in Japan at the Kakamori store, but I've been considering getting maybe a resin handle just because it's always in water. I worry that that's going to wear on the wood. So these are similar. I wanted to get like similar inks on the same page. Kaweco Brown is one of my favorites, and look at this, is empty. I have drained those in my little baby Kaweco, so I think I'm just going to color this in. I wonder if I can move it around a little. Move this. It's funny, I would have thought that this was lighter than it actually is. Sometimes when I only have cartridges, it's hard to really gauge. Caramel Brown. This is a solid color. It's actually much darker than I thought it was. I just want to double check. Yep, just these little ink cartridges are great from Kaweco. Let me see if I went through on the other side. This paper is really thick. Yeah, it's thick, thick, thick. Oh, wait. All right, so far so good. This is one of the shimmer ink, the scented inks that everybody hated in the ink vent calendar. The Cinnabon. I mean, it does smell very much like cinnamon, which is kind of fun. The feathering and bleed through on these colors was just crazy. This is actually a nice color too. It's too bad. I mean, I would recommend if you have like an extra fine nib or something, like a very dry writer, to put this in there. And then, you know, because the scented inks from Diamine, they're such wet writers that might be a good solution. Yeah, because whoa, be interesting to write. Okay, Diamine. Oh yeah, look at that. That's crazy. Yeah, gotta watch that one. I still like the color. I think it's fun. Cafe Crema is one of my favorites, so let's do that. I love Cafe Crema. Ooh, Lumpy, did you bump your head? So pretty. One of my favorites. And here's the sample that I have on this card. Let's do Robert Louis Stevenson. This is beautiful. I knew this had some gold into it. This is a really pretty ink. It's a giant bottle. is so nice. I mean, I am up to 18 inks in shades of brown. That is ridiculous. And there's more. Oyster Hour is such a pretty, soft color. I really love it. Look at the feathering on that Cinnabon. I don't think I can use that ever. All right, I just cleaned out my Montblanc Noblesse. I had Montblanc Corn Poppy Red in here, but I also have red in my baby, my Montblanc baby. So I think it's time we can swap this out. We'll give this some time to load up here. I do love that, you know, Montblancs just take standard international cartridges here, and I do love the toffee brown. So I bought this secondhand. I think I paid $80 for this Noblesse. It's a really beautiful writer. I'm gonna let that load. So this page is done. This is Cacao de Brazil from J. Urban. This is a really nice color. One of those, put it in anything and it looks good, but this definitely leans towards purples. It's a little bit of a stretch for my brown, so maybe it's good that it's on a new page here. I might even put it on a second row here because I feel like I could start like shifting into some new colors as far as my samples go on this page if I'm moving away from brown. All right. It's a nice color though. Hopefully my toffee brown is filtering in there. So musline's a little gray, purple, taupey, those kind of colors. It's a little light here because there's still some red in there, but a little bit of water from cleaning it out. Toffee brown. Toffee. Some reddish undertones in there. Okay, we get the point. Lastly is this color from Sailor. This came in a little 3-pack. I also got this at Marzan. Now this is called like a faded orange, if that's the right one. This came in a little 3-pack, so I'm not sure. Okay, now this color is leaning into the golds. This is Robert Oster Gold Antigua. So I'm just gonna do this as one final thing, just because. And that is going to be it for today. Lift a little bit of this. You can see some, yeah, see some of the gold come through. That's a pretty one. I like to put this in my Laban Snow pen. Thinking about inking this up too. That looks really pretty in here. Definitely gold. Very pretty. So it has been a few days and I just wanted to come back and revisit some of these colors. The sun's coming down, so we are getting hit with some light, but you're also really able to see all of the shimmer in these inks. What I've learned through this process is that not all brown inks are created equally. I think these were the two that I have so much of. Huge bottles, pretty flat color. But these are great as an alternative to black ink for some of my journaling. Oh wow, the way the light's hitting this is really interesting. Let's move on to the second page. Now these were some of the flatter colors The Cinnabon did have a lot of feathering, a lot of sheening in the Montblanc, and you can see where there are more red tones or green or yellow undertones. Looking at Saddle Brown here, it really doesn't do too much for me, but in my Line Friends pen, I absolutely love it. I also love that it leans towards pink. I love the sheening in the Oyster Hour. This is such a beautiful color. I love the softness of that. And then on our final page, we have the Faded Orange, the Toffee Brown. It was nice to see samples of colors that I only have ink cartridges for. And then we started going a little more into the Goldens, and then this Urban has like some of the purpley gray. But I love my browns, and this was really fun. Sorry for all of the shadows and stuff. Do you have a favorite? What do you think? Let me know in the comments. I hope you enjoyed exploring brown inks with me. I do have quite a bit. I love that little Wearingeul notebook. It's sold out as of right now on Atlas, but if I can find a shop that notebook is in stock, I will link it below. I also plan on getting their little swatch cards because I find that paper did a really good job of showing off the sheen and the shimmer of inks, and that the color ring paper that I've been using, I don't really love it so much. It's great as a reference to see how the ink behaves on one type of paper, but I typically use Tomoe River paper with my Hobonichis or my notebooks, and I just really enjoy seeing that shimmer and sheen on the paper. So I think I'm gonna order the little cards. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. Let me know in the comments, what is your favorite brown ink? And I know this is gonna be dangerous because somebody's gonna say an ink that I know I'm gonna run out and have to explore. I have no willpower when it comes to pens and ink. Thank you so much for being here today. Remember to like and subscribe. We'll see you on Monday at the Juicy Broads Pen Show on that YouTube channel. Thanks again, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye, everybody.